Hey, good morning. I'm gonna do a real short video here. I got a lot going on. I don't even tune into the news really, but it keeps coming up, and I want to speak a little bit about the Charlie Kirk assassination. Not coming to any conclusions, but I just want to say that the official story is a complete fairy tale, and we're seeing the same type of tactics that we see on all high-profile assassinations, like Princess Diana, JFK, just to name a couple, where there is a mountain of information that's released to effectively cloud the truth and make the masses or the public come to all these conclusions that seem obvious. But that's what a professional hit does, is they create a bunch of storylines that are all intertangled, many layers, and it's going to appear obvious, the logical explanation, so that a low-level thinker, someone that has no experience in that genre or doesn't understand guns, or they're gonna just believe the official story and put it to rest. Also, because it's just so terrible, who wants to spend a lot of time in that place, going down through the layers of forensics and evidence, and no one's going to do it. Similarly, it's like learning law and learning how to address a courtroom and represent yourself. You know, it would literally take a normal person 5 to 10 years just to be able to use legal terminologies correctly and use procedural law correctly. So they've made it impossible to represent yourself by the nature of the way they run a court case. So it's the same thing here. We basically have, without getting into details, so many inconsistencies that it's fatiguing, and the normal person is just going to have to believe the official story. There's been an interview that was just put out with the head of security, and you know, it's like a well done, heartfelt type of a thing, where he raises some questions, he points the finger around, essentially, it was pretty believable, but I just want to tell you, it's almost like pointing more at them than ever before because of some of the statements that the guy's making. And I'm just going to say this, again, I can get into more details if you guys like this conversation, but when have you ever seen head of security detail do an interview? Ever. Unless it was like 20 years later and he's retired. It's a huge red flag. This is complete damage control. And I'm not saying because the online community and all the channels that are watching, and Candace Owens and all these wonderful people that are willing to look in the rabbit hole or go and challenge the official story. I'm not saying that they're anywhere near the truth or uncovering what really happened. I'm trying to say that this is elegant damage control, and the fact that he's doing an interview proves that. They're somehow, in some way, they knew or they know what happened. And furthermore, you know, I'm not really a gun person, but I'm like a maverick, and I know a good amount about many different subjects and sectors. And when I was younger, yeah, I've shot a 30-06. And there is no way in hell that that round acts anything like what they're describing. And from 150 yards, Charlie Kirk's head would be blown off. I can say that with 100% certainty. So I'm not saying that this is what happened, but it's more plausible that something on the stage or in his chair that was a low caliber weapon shot him up through his body and made him have the shoulder shrug and the kind of reaction that he did, and then he sits back in his chair. And if you watch really closely, he doesn't fall over. He sits back in the chair and stays sitting up. And the first security guys that run over and jump over the table, one of them pushes him and the chair down behind the table, which could be viewed as trying to protect him or them from another shot. But it's a little bit suspect. And it's almost like the chair itself could have been the weapon. And that a low caliber weapon would go up through the body, ricochet around, and then maybe shrapnel or something, or the round would leave a small exit wound in his neck. The other way it could be viewed is that it was a low caliber 22 that was shot from another whole angle, and it entered his neck and then hit the spine and went down and ricocheted around. The data that they're saying that it hit the vertebrae and then turned down and went through the vertebrae is totally uncharacteristic of what a round does. A round hits something hard in the body, it changes its velocity, it ricochets, and then it will go and dance around in soft tissues. To think that it would hit a vertebrae and turn down and then go down through the column of vertebra and stay on the hardest path is, I mean, just, that would be the rarest thing that you could ever see happen. It's just uncharacteristic of what a round really does in the body. So one, they're saying that it's a high caliber weapon, which doesn't make sense. And then two, they're saying that it's behaving like similar to what a lower caliber rifle would do, but then even augmenting that a little bit. So I'm telling you guys, this was a very professional hit. We can't say that it was, with any certainty who it was. That it was the security detail, that it was this. But the official story is so fantastical that it really raises some red flags. There's a huge cover-up on their behalf. There's a storyline that's being put out. There's a lot of people in high places that are acquiescing to that storyline and just going with it. And it doesn't make any sense. So I just wanted to put my perspective out there. I'm wishing everybody well. And I can tell you that from a different vantage point, this really isn't good. I have a feeling they're going to be targeting and taking out a bunch of key figures. Candace Owen is probably in a lot of danger. There's just certain people that are speaking out and they're causing a bunch of problems, and whether they're accurate in their assessment or not, they might let this just play out and use it to demonize them. But they literally could have a hit list, and this is just the first play out of the playbook. And so keep that in mind. Everybody be safe and have a beautiful day.